All right, folks, I wanted to welcome back my next guest. She is a good friend who just happens to be a super dope MC, a journalist, the Rugged Triad Records label CEO. Always good conversation with her, and I'm very thankful that she helped me bring in the new year with my final episode for 2024. That was really fun. Welcome back to the amazing Indigo Phoenyx. How are you?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm getting ready to watch a movie later on this afternoon. Not a scary movie, but we're gonna go out there and catch a flick. How's the new year been for you?
It's been dope. I've been very busy. I'm
Yeah,
getting a lot done on a personal note for the
yeah,
most part. Just playing catch up with the music. So
yeah.
everything's going well. When my mental health is good and my health is good, then I can't complain.
Yeah. Hey, I would say you're quite busy. Two projects so far in 2025. We're here to talk about two of them. First, Forged in Fire that you released back in March, and Noir Wonderland, which you released last week. So awesome. Holy cow. 8 tracks with True Cipher, which is your second project with True Cipher. But can you tell me just the process and the decision on why you decided to do a second project with True Cipher? How did that go down?
Bam, we were actually part of Free Thinker Clan together under AP the Overlord. So, they were part of the production team with the Thinker Clan. So that's how I linked with them. So we were like crew on one end, family on another end when we did Villainous Vengeance. And then, so of course, it was a no brainer that we're going to continue to work together.
Yeah.
And I actually started that project last year when I was in the hospital.
Oh,
Tone was sending me a bunch of tracks, and so when he was sending me tracks, I was, in the hospital bed, actually waiting for surgery, listening to those tracks
oh wow.
and just lining that project up. So I've been working on that for a whole year, and it was just time to drop it. So True Cipher is like fam. I covered
Yeah.
them in the OG press. So, I always look out for fam. And I just love the drums. True Cipher is
Yeah.
two producers, Oda Beatsmith and Black Tone. So make
Okay.
sure y'all tap into them.
Yeah. Holy cow. And I also got to credit the folks that sound engineered the project. I'm tracking that it was mixed by This Is Just Cause Brand New Beats and
Yes,
Cadero. Man, they did an amazing job. Just, man,
yes.
making it really, really sound crispy and nice. So shout out to them. That's not an easy
Yeah,
feat at
that's
all.
my in-house engineer. This is
Yeah.
just called. So yeah, he's been mixing a lot of my stuff lately. So I've been able to get a lot more of the work done, especially since he's right here with me. So I
Yeah.
can literally tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, let's do this, let's do that." So it's been great, having in-house engineering now.
Yeah. Yeah. Super fantastic. And it makes a world of a difference with just amazing sound engineering. So I got to cry as I get older and get further into it. I just, man, these guys are magicians. Amazing.
Right. It's hard for me because my voice is like some people can mix me well, others can't. So I've had a world of a time with engineering. I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna hold you. So now
Yeah.
that I finally found, engineers who can really get the sound together, it's been great from there.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate it. And the summary of the album on the platform, it mentions that it's all about resilience, overcoming obstacles, destroying old ways of thinking, and rebuilding oneself. Man, I love that. Just
Right.
yeah, you never stop growing, changing, and so I just love that lifelong learning. And so I love the theme of this album. But what was it? The time in the hospital that put that theme in your head, or is that something that you've always wanted to attack for a project?
It was everything from last year. It was a lot of betrayal, falling out with like really long, close friends.
Yeah,
Realized they weren't my friend and, like kind of snaked me. And so it was just that epiphany of watch who I share with, watch who I open up to. Also just reliving the loss of my mom. Like I
Yeah.
said, every year, before my birthday, she passed 3 days before my birthday.
Mm.
So it's always a tough time.
Yeah.
And I wound up going to the hospital actually a day after my birthday with the heart stuff. So I felt like it was because I was sulking, because I was depressed, I was feeling suicidal. So
Yeah.
Forged in Fire was just showing it after I got through those heart surgeries, like everything else pales in comparison to fighting for my life and changing the perspective of wanting to commit suicide and leaving here to wanting to live, wanting to be here for my daughter, my
Yeah.
grandson, like wanting to be around. So it was really that put it in perspective that I'm resilient. I can overcome anything.
Yeah.
These obstacles are nothing, and getting through those pre-heart procedures really put things in perspective. Detaching myself from people and things that weren't serving me, I realized how much happier I was. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, Forged in Fire, like you learn a lot from just detachment and self-care and
Yeah.
self-love, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, absolutely. I've known you for a couple years now, and we've shared a lot of stories, good, bad, and man, I tell you, every time something knocks you down, you get up and you
Right,
attack it. Yeah, you attack it vigorously, and so you're doing that with family, and then juggling all that stuff, the record label, all these projects. I don't know how you
right.
do it. That's superwoman status to me. So yeah, applaud to you for doing that. And I love that theme because it reminds people when they listen to these albums that these yeah, a lot of people are going through the same thing, and it's often good, when role models remind them that that they're not indestructible and open to all these bad things too, and get over it. So
Right,
I
like
really
I
love
have
the theme.
feelings. I'm very sensitive, so it's
Yeah,
like I'm not soft, but I'm sensitive. Because yeah, I will knock you
yeah,
out, but in the same tone, like I'm still a person. I have feelings.
yeah,
So it's like people act like just because I come across a certain way that I don't have feelings. Of course, I have feelings, and
yeah.
I'm very respectful to other people's feelings.
Uh-huh.
So I just find that a lot of people just mistreat and mishandle you if you allow them to.
Yeah,
So I just like you said, using more discernment in who you deal with has been
yeah,
beneficial, and that's the best lesson I learned last year.
yeah. Yeah, it says it in your name too, right? That the second part, Phoenix, right? Hey,
Mm-hmm.
regenerate, and here we go. I'm
Rise,
coming back.
rise into flames. A phoenix burns and is reborn better than ever from the fire, from the flame.
That's
So,
it.
like you said, it speaks to terms in my name, Forged in Fire. Like, I'm
Hmm.
always going to come out better than ever once I come through those flames.
I love that. I love that. And can you tell me the significance of the artwork too by Lord Greg, and
He
why
just had
that's
work and it fit what I was looking for.
yeah.
Like just a woman blindfolded, like I feel like it represented like something like blind justice, but it's
Ooh,
just in life, not really seeing people or things as what they are.
yeah.
And then the fire, so I figured that it was synonymous with what I was doing. So
Yeah.
I thought it was fitting artwork, to
Yeah.
Forged in Fire. Yeah.
Yeah. It's mysterious, just I
Right.
was just thinking like, oh man. And so I just like it because it leaves you asking questions, and I love the flames around the head. So good choice for cover. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so we talked about the other day the importance of having a theme to an album because it makes it easier to write, and it structures your album. And so I've known you again, like I mentioned, a number of years, and I know you're always working on multiple projects. You're never working on just one thing. How hard is it to go back and forth from project to project? Because you gotta switch your mind state for that. So do you find that difficult?
It's easy because sometimes you get tired of working on the one thing.
Yeah,
You know,
true
it's
that.
like it gets monotonous, and then you're
Yeah,
like, I'm tired of this. And so
Yeah.
I'll just jump over to the other one and just play with that one for a little while, and then I'll go back to the other one. Like I'll be working on. I'm not gonna hold you. I'll work on at least 3 or 4 projects at a
Yeah.
time.
Heck yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I always find that to be amazing. And yeah, just it seems like you got it all together. And then after that, it's like rapid release after rapid release. And they're all great themes. So I love the theme for this one. And I want now to just kind of go into some of the tracks. So the first track, Forged in Fire, nice strings on the drums. And was that a deliberate pick to be the first song on the album? Or
Yeah,
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 okay.
definitely delivered to be the first on the album. Always like to start it off with, like the
Prophet.
subtitle track. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, the title track. Your lyrics always great. Just always descriptive and storytelling to me. F boy energy right from the get go. Wild talk get you talked out. Verbal blitz flow. We don't give a shit. Ho, I walk hard while you tiptoe. Tsunami style. I see why you pissed though. I'm gonna give you a reason to hate me. I love it. Just man. Come on, bring it. Bring it.
Yeah, once I get into the flow, I just go and I'm like, okay, we just going get this thing here going. And it's like I always say, it's therapy for me.
Yeah.
It's venting. I think a lot of people when they listen to my music, oh, she's an angry black woman. And you see anytime, every time we interact, we're in the chat with laughs and giggles and every interview I'm all smiles. Like this is my personality. I'm all smiles in interaction with anyone. So far from bitter, not angry black woman. I'm just someone who vents eloquently via music.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's my outlet for my frustration, my
Yeah.
anger, my heartache. I use my music for that. So I feel like that's the best outlet for it. And I feel like I do a great job at that. So when I'm dropping
Yeah.
projects, that's therapy. That's free therapy outside of
Yeah.
the therapy I already get.
Yeah. And it just, I don't know about you, it just makes me happy after I listen to a verse that I recorded. Like I recorded last night on a song that I've been procrastinating on. I finally recorded it and I was happy with something I wrote. And then I just listened to it and I was like, yeah, that was satisfying.
When I hit publish on Bandcamp.
Oh,
Like once I hit
right,
publish
right,
on Bandcamp, then I'm like, hallelujah.
right. Yeah, so that is just the fun part of it too. Not just writing, recording, but even just the release of it is very satisfying. So yeah,
Right.
great track. Great start, great introduction to the banging drums that the True Cipher team uses. Track 2, Verbal Arson again. Just your lyrics again, just mad. Really dope. Verbal arson, fighting from firing every bar, son, nothing but ash. When the song done, baby, I'm on one. No games played. You got the wrong one. Verbal arson while you want to act out. Just I love these battle bars, and that's my foundation. I really enjoyed that period of battle run, but you're really good at that. So,
Yeah, that was battle.
mhm.
Um, Rapping, it was loud.com, had a
Cool.
battle fight. So I
Uh-huh.
started out really going hardcore on there. Like I said, I was one of the top 5 picked by RZA in a competition
That's so
for
crazy.
songs under RZA. So yeah, so battle is a home for me. That's why I pop my shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like to expand. I've always been more
Yeah.
so a conscious rapper,
Yeah.
but a lot of the time when I was doing the conscious rap, oh, that's too preachy. So I've learned to become versatile
Uh-huh.
in what I put out where it's not so much one thing, but like I always say, I'm a paradox. I'm a bunch of different things. So I
Yeah.
like the versatility in the music. Some songs will be uplifting, some songs will be braggadocious,
Yeah.
you know. So I like to give
Exactly.
a variety of things, yeah.
Do you ever hear people call Indigo Phoenix an emo rapper?
No.
Okay. All right. I didn't know
A mean rapper.
because yeah, because you can do it well. You tell stories, motivational, and I don't mean it in a negative sense because I get called that sometimes. I was doing an interview yesterday, And I was like, yeah, sometimes when I write those like super deep songs, people will call me like, yeah, he's a great emo rapper. And I was like, I never see myself as an emo rapper, but
Because and that's why I don't do things one. I'm not a one trick pony. I don't do things just always.
right,
So that's
right.
why I try to give versatility. So
Okay.
nobody can put me in a box of
Yeah.
anything. You can't. The most they can say is Queen of the Grimy. I like grimy.
I like that. I like
Even if
that.
I'm sitting emotional shit, it's over grimy tracks. So
Yeah.
that's the most box somebody could put me in is Queen of the Grimy. Like
I like that though.
I own that one. Yes, grimy shit. Yes.
No, it's so hey, obviously I just talked about all these battle inspired verses too. So yeah, I've always thought you were diverse in that sense. I just didn't know because yeah, I mentioned it yesterday, and the interviewer was like, nah, I don't really see you as an emo rapper, and I'm like, maybe I just see, comments sometimes floating around, and but I don't take offense to it. But I was like, I don't. Yeah, I thought I'd do different stuff.
Uh,
Yeah,
what is it like Trippy Red and all of the those little raps. What is it? Fuck Love.
yeah,
So like yeah, stuff like that. I like those songs too. So I'm not just the person who just listens to one type
right.
of rap. I listen to a lot of other rap as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know a lot of people reach out to you for mentoring and just advice because you've done it all, right? And so, what's your advice? Are you seeing a lot of people starting in the battle scene still, or is it straight to recording? I mean, there's a lot of resources now available for people that want to become MCs. It's not like when we started back in the day; it's hard to find like
Right.
ways to record and all that. But what are you seeing in terms of people starting up these days?
A lot of people just wanting instant fame and success.
Mm. Yeah, that's tough.
People don't realize how many years it takes to really gain momentum.
Hmm.
I've been rapping probably seriously, like I said, with the loud.com. I think that was around 2007, maybe
Yeah,
2007, 2008.
yeah.
I stopped and I didn't come back to rapping until 2019.
Oh,
I never dropped a project. I never put anything out. I think the first track I put out officially was Allah's Daughter. That was on MySpace. Goes to show you how old that was.
MySpace.
Um, right, and Professor Griff from Public Enemy reached out to me.
Damn, that's
And
so
he was like,
crazy.
yo, this is dope. You fit like a hardcore Brooklyn dude. And I'm like, I am from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And he asked me to meet and my engineer for dinner, and we went and had dinner with Professor Griff, and he gave
Man.
me encouragement to, keep going on. So with me, it was just always wanting to have my particular message put out when I first started. So when people were like, "Oh, too much conscious stuff," I kind of stopped.
Ah,
Once again, it was about look. Oh, you don't look like the female rappers. The
yeah.
sexual look, all that. So that
Mm,
kind of discouraged me, and I stopped. But when I came back 2019, it was to deliver a message, to put out
yeah.
my music, do it on my terms, do it how I want to. So
Yeah.
when I see a lot of people come out now, they're trying to conform or fit into what they think is popular
Mm,
instead of doing what it comes organically and naturally to them. And
yeah.
that's the best advice I could give anybody is do what comes to you naturally, do
Yeah.
what comes to you authentically, because that's when you're going to put out the best music.
Yeah.
And people
Agree.
who are meant to gravitate to your music will. Just make sure you're doing the music you want, not the music that you think other people want from you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely yeah, something you got to go through and experience. And yeah, I agree. That's great advice. I love it. Yeah, and so moving on through the album, Smoke and Mirrors, another amazing track. That was probably my favorite beat, and I thought all the beats on the True Cipher project were really dope. But yep, hey, people always pulling Smoke and Mirrors, man. I know what you mean, and yeah, and so your verse again, just I picked out the portion. What's your purpose? Are you really living, or are you just accepting the scraps that you've been given? I'm driven. I got to break these generational curses, whether it's writing or delivering these verses. I've experienced what the worst is. I had to spread myself thin, get right working, accepting these small victories. A win is a win. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that that is really on point in what I know of Indigo Phoenix. So always spreading herself thin to try to make things happen. So what inspired that song?
Just the same thing. Trying to break out of certain things. Like people love to again present you in a certain light. They love to put you in a box. They
Mm,
love to act like you're the villain so that they could justify how foul they treat you, how they, how they mishandle you, how they do you.
yeah,
A lot of people act like they don't even see me rapping, even though I put out like over 30 projects. They act like I don't exist, but
yeah,
they see me, but they just don't want to acknowledge me or hype me up because they don't want me to
yeah,
have that shine. You feel what
right,
I'm saying? So that's why
yeah,
it's all smoke and mirrors because I know what I'm doing. They know what I'm doing, but
yeah,
it just goes back to, you know what I'm saying? Staying true to yourself, not worried about how other people view you, not
yeah,
seeking the validation, and just not settling. Like, are you accepting the scraps you're giving? Like, I'm not gonna accept any scraps. I'm gonna keep going for my goals and trying to
yeah.
reach different things, whether it's
Mm,
writing film, writing books, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
writing for these magazines, spitting these verses. Like I have so many talents that I'm not going to stifle myself and not expand even more. Each year I plan on expanding myself more into different areas, film,
yeah,
becoming an author, all of those good things. So, don't just accept what life gives you. Get out there and create
yeah.
opportunities for yourself,
There you
basically.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they certainly won't come if you're not making them. And so, I mean, it's
Create
clear.
opportunities. I've never been a person that sit back. That's why I've always, any job I had, I started as secretaries in jobs and wound up becoming my boss's boss. I'm
Yeah,
never a sit back person and just allow things to control me. I'm gonna always I need the best outcome of every situation I'm in.
yeah. And how do you do that? Is that through networking, or are you just doing it yourself? Like, hey, I'm just gonna write a book, or are you reaching out to the network that you created within your circle?
Within myself, but I know to utilize resources like Sunya Zalal, he writes books.
Yep.
So, I've been talking about doing the book for a while. So I asked him, could he mentor me and
Wow.
kind of give me guidance along the book writing? I
Yeah.
actually just had an interview with him, and he just said it himself. He was like, I need something from you telling your story in a book about this hip hop thing like he's been doing.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to writing a book that speaks on the most relevant, or not, because all my interviews are relevant, but some of the most prominent interviews that really impacted me, and I wanted to speak a little more about the interviews, the artists, and just take excerpts from a lot of interviews that I've conducted
Yeah.
over, I don't know, like a lot of interviews, like
Heck
maybe over
yeah.
100 plus interviews. So I just
Hmm.
wanted to expand on that. But definitely networking helps with the right people. Like I said, Sunya is just somebody who champions behind me
Yeah.
publicly. He's unapologetically somebody who always supports me, and I appreciate that. So I always reach to the people who show me
Yeah.
genuine love. We work together
Yeah.
on Ocean Stress, and so yeah, I respect him. He's the hip hop historian. He has so much knowledge and experience that it would be crazy for me not to reach to someone of his caliber
Yeah.
for his advice because he has so much expertise in the book writing. He's rapping now.
Wow.
And the magazine, he's written for the Source, Double XL. He's written for every hip hop magazine that we know. So there's no better person to go to. So I feel like using him as a network is good. And then I also just use myself to inspire. And I look up my own
Yeah.
other resources myself because most people like to gatekeep. So I've
Yeah.
learned to look into things for myself and find the things that I need.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Well said. Well said. So use all tools available to you. Yeah, I love it. Well, hey, as we move into the project, we go into track 4, which is Inferno. That was the interlude. And I was sad when I heard that beat. Do you know why?
You wanted me on it.
I was sad because that beat was so good. I was like, man, all the beats are so good, but I see that. I was like, "Ooh, I know she could have ripped that beat too. I was like, ooh, that must be hard.
It was good. I could have expanded. I was like, you know what? This is a perfect
Yeah,
interlude to bring the project into the next section of it. So I was like, let's just use it as an interlude.
yeah, yeah. I say that kiddingly, but it just goes to show how good the beats were on this project. And I was like, man,
Mm-hmm.
man, she had so many good beats. She had dope one for interludes. So yeah, that's probably just the MC in me, but
Project together. So that lets you know that I was meticulous in the beat selection for
yeah,
that.
heck yeah. And then I go into my favorite song of the album, which is Trailblazer. So I
Okay.
thought that was probably the most motivational song of the project. And again, the beat was like super dope too, as well. So,
Yes.
anything special about that song before I talk to you about your lyrics?
Just me talking my shit, just me living in my light and feeling good about what I'm doing.
Yeah, heck
Good
yeah,
about what I'm doing, just coming to the epiphany. Look, this is what I'm doing. I'm trailblazing. I'm putting this music out here and I'm loving what I'm doing. And that's what it's all about. When you're doing this music, it should always be about passion.
yeah. That they certainly do. And then the tribute to the old school who paved the way. You say thanks to the pioneers that paved the way in. Put my 10 cents in, not just 2 cents. 10 cents. I had to weigh in. Roll up my sleeves, get to work. Ain't no more playing. Whew. I mean, it was game time.
Doing double time projects. I'm doing 10 projects a year, so it's not
Yeah,
just 1 cent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Putting in 10 cents.
Yeah, which is why that was like more impact on the line. I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So I love that. And, as we've talked over the years, I just appreciate the art of writing lyrics. And so, yeah, always great. Always get some great lines from you. And then, you go into the hook. I want to shout it from the rooftop. You want everything. When I'm down and out, you fill me with all that joy you bring. You mesmerize me. You make me want to sing. You are my everything. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? I said, if a motherfucker makes you want to sing, uh, that's serious,
Hip
right?
hop makes me want to sing. Like, they know
This,
it's my everything. Like, hip hop is my everything. It's
yeah,
my happy place. It's my
yeah,
peace. It's my joy. So yeah, it just when I'm down and out,
yeah,
there's that perfect song you put on that just
yeah,
uplifts you. Like I like to listen, like I said, my Kami. I like to listen to when I was in the hospital, that's what I was listening to. So he helped me get through a lot of the tough times. So
yeah.
the music is always a catalyst for me. It's the thing that pushes me, drives me, inspires me, uplifts me. So yeah, the music is my everything.
Yeah, and that's hard too. That is a gift in itself, the ability to communicate and saying it simple. Like you don't have to be complex when you say these things, and you're still able to connect with the audience by saying these things. So that's why I was like, man, if someone makes me want to sing, I must love it that much. So it just drew a picture in my head and some thoughts, and I think you do real well connecting with the audience in that sense. But this is my
Yeah,
favorite song of the album for sure.
thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then we go through just the remainder of the album, track 6, 7, and 8. Just all bangers too. The beats, I say it over and over again, but just True Cipher, they put together a great menu of stuff to just rip over. Probably the last song I'll talk about is track 6, Emotional Embers. I love the
Mm-hmm.
female vocal sample. It's just really dope where they pulled that. I'm just a girl you can depend on, and that's true. I've seen you
Right.
support so many people just in their musical journey. So I thought that was appropriate for someone as yourself.
Thank you. You got it. So yeah, I feel like I'm that person you can depend on. I'm that person that people could reach to,
Yeah,
who will help them, who would advise them, who will give them resources, who
yeah,
will highlight them. So yeah, I'm that girl you can depend on. But ever so often, you get caught up with manipulators, users, and
mhm,
things like that because
yeah,
some people are takers. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. Takers, no
And not
givers.
genuine. So that's where emotional embers comes from. It's the journey of learning, and I had to
Yeah,
learn those lessons,
yeah,
and it made me, reflect. It hurt me a lot because I don't think
yeah.
people realize how much
Sure.
it hurts. Be like, oh, if such and such happened, and you must be the problem. I'm like, I'm a person who's very giving. So when you're a giving person, there's always takers who come
Yeah,
along and users who feel like, oh, we could just get from her and, move on
yeah,
about our business and screw her over. So,
yeah,
I wouldn't say, oh, I'm just perfect, but nah, but it just be a lot of people who will come at me the wrong way, or take me the wrong way.
yeah.
I'm a very, how can I say, blunt person. How I speak to people, but I'm an Aquarius. Like Aquarius are very forthright, and we just say what's on our mind. So I think sometimes people are so used to people sugarcoating shit that they
Yeah,
don't know how to take someone who speaks genuinely.
yeah, 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 yeah. Tough
Like,
love.
they take it wrong. And I'm
Yeah,
like, yo, I never mean things to hurt anybody. So
yeah,
I say here right now, if I said things to anyone where you took it as I was being rude or mean, that's never my intention
right,
to
right.
mishandle, mistreat, or speak incorrectly to anybody. So
Yeah, I don't
my
ever think
thing
that
is
of
I
us.
want to make people feel good. I want to uplift them, and I was always that person just trying to be there to support and encourage. So
Yeah,
anybody who's got anything else from that was never my intention, and I apologize.
oh, 100%. Well, I would say, hey, Forged in Fire, an amazing project, which I'm not surprised because you just knocking them down one at a time. But yeah, great listen. I really enjoyed it, and
Thank
you,
you.
yeah, and you followed it up with another one. So a couple months later, you produced, you released Noir Wonderland, and so that was another one. I didn't get to finish it yet, but I'm like halfway in. I was like, man, she was
Okay,
cooking.
okay.
Well, what inspired the Alice in Wonderland theme? I know that part of it was because of the artist Miriam Moma. And
Mhm.
yeah, and so it looks like that she is a Tanzanian Nigerian visual artist based in Atlanta. Is she a friend, or is she an art that you just have an artist that you've been exposed to in the area?
Exhibitions. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I've been going to art exhibitions, and
Okay.
Miriam was highlighted at Buckhead Art and Company,
Yep.
and I went to that exhibition, and it was just great. It was amazing. I
Nice.
caught the discussion. She's a really dope collage artist. So
Yeah.
I peaked the exhibition. The concept and the idea was beautiful. It was a reimagining of Alice in Wonderland, but
Yeah.
with black figures in place of.
Yeah.
So the artistry was just really beautiful. I'm actually working on a article for it for the magazine.
Wow.
So going down, I think I posted some of the pictures. It was just such a powerful exhibition. So it inspired the project Noir Wonderland as well, which I just felt it differently, which is a reimagining of the same thing, like just what about the concepts? Because Alice in Wonderland itself has deep meaning and a deep concept behind it. If anybody realizes Alice
Sure.
goes down the rabbit hole, she shrinks, she grows,
Yeah.
she goes through trials and tribulations. So Alice in
Yeah.
Wonderland always had big meaning. So, you outgrow spaces, you outgrow people.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to shrink yourself to fit into certain boxes or certain things.
Ooh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, so conceptually, that's how I use the Alice in Wonderland as far as the interpretations
Yeah.
that I saw from the actual book, because I've read the book when I was younger, and from the actual films that I've seen,
Yeah.
that was the concept. So Alice in Wonderland is bigger than just, I'm sorry, bigger than just the small imprint of, oh, it's a great
Yeah.
love story about the girl and the tea party and the rabbit and the Mad Hatter.
I
It
love
has so
that.
many more things to do. So like, we're all mad here. I did that song with Bernadette Price. We're
Ooh.
both from Brownsville, so it was fitting to have
Yeah.
a Brownsville person get onto a track with me because we're all mad here. Like, not mad as in angry, but we're all bugged out here. So it was
Yeah.
fitting that we spit real hard, and you heard she gave it that
She
chef
went in.
kiss,
Y'all went in.
and I love it, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it is just perfect. And then I had China Beijing on Down the Rabbit Hole,
Yep.
and China went in. So it's like going down the rabbit hole, just spiraling, going through different things, and all these little questions. You see Alice going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
She's just looping into stuff. She's just lost. But when you go down that rabbit hole, you see how she ended up at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, look, you go down that rabbit hole, you're gonna find yourself at the end of it all. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? She wound up finding out her strength, her
Yeah.
character, who her friends were, all of
Yeah.
that stuff. The Noir Wonderland, basically, for me, is that journey of going through all these different things in life, having the strength to fit in spaces and keep your voice quiet, or having to be bold, boisterous, and speak your piece and grow and outgrow spaces. Even if you grow bigger than people expect you to be, continue to grow. Don't, and like
Yeah.
I said, never put yourself in the box to stunt your growth. So
Yeah.
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 So that is what Noir Wonderland was all about. Just expanding your mind, expanding yourself, and for the most part, off with your head, just talking shit.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. Grimy Cheshire was just about the same thing. Just speaking your truth, living your truth, being bold, being courageous,
Yeah.
and just not letting anybody hold you back from what's destined for you.
Yeah. And it's a good reminder. Well, I guess what first I want to say, you broke that down to a science. That was amazing. All the different themes and lessons learned. And so, to me, what I got from the first half of the album, it reminds me that we are our biggest champions for ourselves. And so I love that. In the first song that you did with China Beijing, Down the Rabbit Hole, which I thought was a great first preview to the album. You mentioned I'm exhausted. You are not my equal. False narratives do not concern me. They want me on a stake. They trying to burn me, going on a witch hunt. But Phoenix is the one driving stakes. I'm killing these witches. Woo! I love it. And then you mentioned that.
You got to learn me. Like, I thrive in the flames. You want to burn me,
Yeah,
I'm gonna burn and come back. Like I said, I always
yeah,
find a way to put myself in my music because it's my music.
that's right. And so I love that, and that always reminds me that hey, no one's gonna do it better than yourself, right? And so
Right.
you gotta remind folks that yeah, hey, all right, come at me, I'm gonna come at you harder, and I'll be all right. And
That's what's
and an interesting line too you mentioned on that song was "My mind is a wonderland." I'm like hell yeah, and then I started thinking about just all the crazy things in Alice in Wonderland, and it is right. And so I just yeah, I mean the mind is a powerful thing, and just a lot of things you make a lot happen with that. But just yeah, that connected with me too. Like I'm like yeah, lot of madness in my head, and so I just like it. It just went with the theme. It was just
an
hit me.
artist. You already know. You be having so many ideas and
Yeah, I'm always having a tea party in my head, so all good.
in their head with the Mad Hatter. And I'm like, look, but there's a method to the madness. You feel what I'm saying?
That's
So
it.
that's the Tanzanian party is just basically that Tanzanian Tea
Yeah,
Party. There's a method to my madness. Even though I'm like the Mad Hatter, it seems like I'm always just doing stuff. There's always a science and a method and a strategy towards anything I do.
Yeah. Hey, that was an amazing song to open the album to. Tanzanian Tea Party is one of the two tracks I'm gonna talk to you about. But holy cow, that beat was amazing. I just like the hard piano, right? It's
Right.
just like I'm here, I'm telling you something, and I thought it was hard. And you mentioned in the lyrics, "Welcome to my tea party where everyone is strapped, dressed in white, and looking gaudy. They think they fucking with us, rugged and dope. That's how my squad be." I was like, "Damn, let me get an invite to that tea party. I want to come."
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Bring whatever you got. Bring your Mossberg. Bring
I
your
was like,
Ruger, Desert Eagle, but have your finest white outfit on because we're gonna have this tea party.
"Yeah, all right, I'm coming." I was like, "Yeah, I want to go." But yeah, it was a great song. The Tanzanian Tea Party, just intense, and so again, the keys. When the keys are hard and the hook is hard, I was just like, I was getting pumped up. So super
You
cool
must
song.
shout out East Coast Ghost, the producer on that
Oh,
project.
sick,
Because he came to me in my
sick.
inbox like, I got these beats for you to check out, and you know, a lot of people hit me with beats, and sometimes they don't fit in. But
Yeah,
I made sure I went back to my messages like I'm missing somebody who I didn't respond to. If I don't respond to you, please hit me back and remind me because I'll be doing so much I forget.
yeah,
So I went back, I checked. I was like, oh, can you resend those? Because he sent it the way I couldn't hear them. So I'm glad I pressed him to get the beats the way I could hear them. And when I heard the beats, I was like, oh, this is so me.
yeah,
And so we began building from there. And when I heard it, I initially was like, yo, this is going to be the Noir Wonderland project.
yeah.
And he's just been blessing me with beats upon beats. And we're actually going to be working on another project together. He's going to
He's
be on the
dope.
God Manifesto album. I have a project out coming out called Polaris, which is everybody knows Magneto's daughter.
Yeah,
So the Polaris project is going to be something different. Of
yeah.
course, a heroic type of well, not heroic, but a villainous type of sound because you know I love that soundscape.
Mm.
So yeah, so East Coast Ghost, make sure y'all check him out. This is a big project for him, and
Yeah,
I'm just to have his production. So shout out East Coast Ghost for
yeah.
helping me
He's
create
sick.
a really dope project.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that was yeah. So halfway through the album, that was really dope. And then I want to talk about we're all met up in here with Bernadette Price. So you when we were prepping for this interview, you're like, yo, let me send you just a preview of the verse or the song. And I was like, oh, holy cow. I hadn't heard the full song yet in completed form, but I was like, man, that was crazy. So yeah, having both of you on the track was
It's Brownsville, you know the
right.
sound too. Right, the competition that be lurking around still. Yeah, so it's just about, you know, popping your shit.
Yeah,
An ode to Brownsville, an ode to Brooklyn, because like I said, I am from Brooklyn. I was born and raised there. I went to Brooklyn Tech
yeah,
High School, and then I moved to Atlanta. So yeah, it
yeah.
was really just like I said, it was just a testimony to where I'm from, and that everybody from my area gets busy.
That was a crazy track. So I
Thank
wanted
you.
to highlight that just as so far one of my favorite songs on that album too as well with track number one. But I look forward to finishing the EP. Super dope. I love the theme. I love the inspiration between the artists that you mentioned earlier and just the songs that I've heard so far. Just really banging. So,
Thank you.
congratulations on another dope release. So,
Thank
woo.
you.
Yeah, yeah. So we wrap.
We got working on Goddess Manifesto now. Like as soon as I get off the phone with you,
Woo,
prepping the dinner, getting back to writing, working on Goddess Manifesto.
I
You know,
love
I
it.
have Bumpy Knuckles on there. I got a track
Ah,
from Cupboard on there from EPMD. So I have a bunch of dope
damn.
stuff coming your way. I got a Pawnee Be Fly
Yeah,
on that
she's
project.
another
So
one of
yeah,
my
I'm
favorites.
excited.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited to drop. So Goddess Manifesto is just as it states, it's my manifesto. It's everything about me in a nutshell as
Yeah.
to my purpose, what I'm here for, what I'm gonna do, what I want to do, and it definitely has some very touching songs. Again, the emotional parts. It also has some encouraging parts and has some braggadocious parts. It has some very mellow beats I'm letting out on the first. I'm doing 3 installments because there's so many beats. So it's probably going to be 10 songs in each portion. So I'm breaking it down in 3 parts. So Goddess Manifesto Part 1 should be dropping soon.
Oh,
And I'm excited. I'm just, that's overall going to be, I feel like, one of my biggest projects that I do just because of the lengthiness of each of the parts of the songs. And not just that, because of the sharing and the storytelling that I'm doing in the project.
I love it. Well, hey, congratulations on 2 dope releases. And it wouldn't be an interview from me if I didn't have any funny or fun questions to ask you at the end. So
Yes.
I've got a couple for you to ask. And my first softball question, this should be pretty easy. Favorite Alice in Wonderland character and why?
Favorite, the Mad Hatter, of course.
All right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. Goes well with the theme. Okay.
Crazy, but he really had sense. You know what I'm saying? He seemed crazy, but he had sense. And he, like I said, there's a method to the madness. Like you see when the people were looking for Alice and she was sitting at the table and he shrunk Alice and threw her into the tea kettle to hide her, or the part where he went and he was on the guillotine about to have his head chopped off and he disappeared and it was just his hat. And he wound up right there with the Queen of Hearts and riled the people up, against her. So it's definitely the Mad Hatter because he seemed like he didn't have sense, but he had a lot of power himself. He was very smart. He was very tricky. And he was all about the people. He may seem crazy, but he was very protective and very helpful.
Okay.
So yeah, I love the Mad Hatter.
Well said. All right. Hey, if I invited you and your family to a 90s party, what are you wearing? Cross colors or Kalkanai?
Cross colors, definitely. I used to wear cross colors all the time.
Yeah. Same. All right.
So baggy, Jabot jeans, and some cross colors.
all day. All right. What puts you in a better mood? Boys to Men's Motown Philly or Shanice's song I Love Your Smile?
Smile.
Yeah. That's a good
song.
I love that song. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Now, I don't Motown Philly, back up.
Yeah. That gets me pumped too. So yeah. Yeah, that was pretty tough.
I love your smile. I used to run around here singing that shit to the top of my lungs like I could really sing. So I definitely love that song. It's a feel good song. So,
yeah, it is a feel good song. I agree. All right.
So cute, so I love her.
Yes. All right. Final 2 questions for you. If you had a friend starting to get into hip hop and they asked you for a recommendation on 2 classic albums, what would you give them?
Would be one of them, and I'm trying to think. Criminal Minded was the main one that got me into it. Maybe Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying?
36.
Yeah.
36 Chambers all day. Those are good.
Because I feel like those are the most relevant to me, especially since, I used to kick it with the Wu. Like I was, that was like Sam back in the day. Like I said, I was there at the Grave Diggers' first performance here in Atlanta. I was like 9 months pregnant. So Wu-Tang has always been there since the beginning. That was before I even considered rapping. Like we were passing out Method Man cassettes for him here in Atlanta and all that stuff before Wu-Tang even blew. So that was So yeah, so definitely Wu-Tang, because the way they came out was just so dope, the way they organized and got it
Yeah.
together. So I was there behind the scenes. I was there when they came for the Triumph tour. I was in the suites with Ghostface. We were in there bugging out. We
Man.
were there for the opening of their store here. So they've always been like fam. Like when I was pregnant, Meth was like named the baby Meth. This
Wow.
ODB was like my daughter's honorary uncle.
Wow.
So yeah, they
Man.
would come by my daughter's grandmother's condo every time they came in town, and
Wow.
they would come. You know, at the time I was in the trap called the Bluff. They would come over to the Bluff and kick with me and my
Okay.
baby father at the time. So like I have pictures of ODB in the trap and all types of stuff. Like
Holy cow. That's crazy.
so like that was fam. So yeah, those two are the most, what could I say, vital to me, because it's one
Yeah.
of them was what inspired me to start loving hip hop was Criminal Minded, KRS-One, shout out to him.
Okay.
I actually met KRS-One coming into a club, and just to show you how cool he is, I'm going into a club called The Warehouse. He's coming out. I said, Chris! He's like, what up? He gives me a hug. Like, you know each other for real.
Ah, that's cool. That's good
Yo,
to
that
hear.
was so cool. And KRS-One is like one of my rap influences as well. So it was great to see that he was a wholesome, humble person. And so just to experience both of them from that, you know, perspective, just
Yeah.
because those projects are both powerful, to have a posse of people rapping is a big thing.
Yeah.
But to have hip hop and like dance hall combined, because you know I'm Jamaican, part Jamaican too, so you know I love dance hall. So to hear
Oh.
hip hop and dance hall combined together
Woo.
was just classic for me. So I loved
I
it.
do
So
like
those things
dancehall.
I would recommend for them. I feel like that project was ahead of its time, because if it dropped right now, it would still be hard.
Oh, I agree. I 100% agree. Still
Right.
hot.
Right.
That's a good example of a timeless album.
Timeless. So yeah, if it dropped right now, it would flush a lot of people out.
Oh, for sure. 100% agree. All right. Hey, here's my final question for you. Pretty easy one, but I'm always curious. Your favorite fruit and why?
My favorite what?
Fruit?
Fruit?
Ooh,
You see,
I missed that. Can you say that again?
cherries.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's a good
love
one.
cherries. Because cherries are pricey, but cherries, man, I can tear them suckers up. I
Yeah.
need at least two pounds cost you $80, but you
Oh,
know.
I know. But they are good. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I love cherries. Plus, I love cherries just for the medicinal purposes. It's
Oh,
antioxidant.
yeah.
So yeah, every fruit I eat is with the mindfulness of what it can do for my body.
Yeah. Yeah, cherries
Next to
is a good
that is
one.
blueberries. So you
Oh,
know.
blueberry. Yeah, pineapple for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
and I love pineapples too. Yeah,
yeah,
pineapples is up there in the top five for sure.
yeah. Or when I catch like watermelon, because I've had bad watermelon, but if I catch it in its prime stage, yeah, it's either pineapple or watermelon for me for sure. Woo!
Definitely blueberries,
Yeah,
pineapple, watermelon, and strawberry.
yeah,
So
yeah. All good.
those, right, right.
I love it. Well, good. Hey, thank you again. It's always an honor to speak with you. Probably the one of
Likewise.
the most busiest people I know and doing amazing things. And just always thankful for the friendship that we have forged over the last couple years. And I love it. So hope to continue to keep building with you. But I wanted to thank you for giving me just the inside look at your albums, because they're amazing projects. But now I want to turn the floor over to you for any final words before we close this amazing interview out.
Listen, peace and blessings to everybody. Salute Rugged Triad. Respect the Trident. Thank you so much for having me on. Respect to my
Mm-hmm.
crew. Respect to my family. And I just want to offer peace and blessings to everybody out there, even if I don't like you. Peace and blessings. See, everybody deserves that love and peace and blessings. But make sure you tap into the catalog. There's so much out there, so much more to come. And salute to all my listeners and supporters. I love y'all. and I wouldn't be able to do this without y'all.
Ooh, thank you. Well, I look forward to getting this out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And yeah, let's get it. Thank you.
All right, peace.